Hi, everyone, and welcome to F-Bomb Friday. I am your host, Tracy Preston, along with my husband, Todd. Hey, hon.
Hey, baby.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's hit it. On today's show, we will be talking about the Nain Rouge, and that's French
That is French.
for Red Dwarf, aka the Red Dwarf of Detroit, aka Demon of the Strait. Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac was a French explorer and adventurer in New France, which stretched from eastern Canada to Louisiana on the Gulf of Mexico. Cadillac's modest beginnings in Acadia in 1683 as an explorer, trapper, and trader of alcohol and furs would eventually lead him to achieve various positions of political importance in the colony. He was the commander of Fort de Bois in St. Ignace, Michigan in 1694. In 1701, while attending a party in Quebec, a fortune teller warned Cadillac that he would encounter a demon on his next adventure. She told him that if he appeased the monster with flattery, he would be rewarded by discovering a great city, one that would rival ones in France. However, if he disrespected the creature in any way, misfortune would fall upon him like a cloud of darkness. Cadillac sailed out of his mission the next day. Eventually, he established Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit on the western bank of the Detroit River. The fort prospered and was successful for years, until one night when Cadillac encountered the Red Dwarf. Against the fortune teller's advice, Cadillac was not nice or respectful toward the demon. In fact, he was very rude and violent. He struck the monster with his cane and yelled at it to leave the city. The Nain Rouge cackled with laughter and vanished into the darkness. The cloud of doom soon shrouded the arrogant Cadillac. His superiors removed the founder of Detroit from his illustrious post and shipped him and his family to Louisiana, which Cadillac despised and considered it to be a wretched place. Some years later, he was imprisoned for speaking out against the government. According to Detroit legend, the Nain Rouge is said to have appeared just before the Battle of Bloody Run on July 31st, 1763. This battle took place during Pontiac's War. The appearance of the Red Dwarf signified that a disastrous event was about to befall the city of Detroit. Native American forces ambushed British soldiers that were led by Chief Pontiac. The battle happened near what is now Elmwood Cemetery in Detroit. The Native Americans had slaughtered such a large number of British soldiers that it caused a nearby creek to run red with blood. Hence the name Bloody Run. The Nain Rouge was witnessed again after the battle, dancing among the dead soldiers. In Detroit folklore, the Nain Rouge was said to have been seen just prior to the Great Fire of 1805, which nearly destroyed the entire city. Legend says the little red demon was seen running through burning buildings, doing cartwheels, and cackling in celebration during the havoc of the fires. The Nain Rouge was said to have been seen just before the 1967 Detroit riots. The riots were triggered by police brutality and harassment of African Americans. The riots resulted in 43 deaths, 1,189 injured, and over 400 buildings destroyed. Perhaps the most recent sighting of the Nain Rouge was just prior to the blizzard of 1976. It's reported that 2 DTE workers spotted what they thought was a child climbing a utility pole before a particularly brutal snowstorm that crippled the city of Detroit. The legend of the Nain Rouge has led to supposedly 300-year-old annual tradition on the Sunday after the vernal equinox, where Detroiters gather for a march to drive the little red devil out of the city. Thousands of revelers dressed in costumes amongst a parade with human-powered floats and musical performers in a celebration that's called Marche du Nain Rouge. Despite the usually chilly 30-degree temperatures, crowds gather in the morning hours with pre-parade parties that extend from Honest John's restaurant to Seasons Market for the annual spring ritual that marches along 2nd Avenue from West Canfield Street south to Temple Street and the Masonic Temple. This year, the 2025 Marche du Nain Rouge will be held on Sunday, March 23rd. I think you can count us in on that, huh?
Yeah, I think we should definitely go.
Nain Rouge Brewery is located at 666, yeah, you heard that right, 666 Selden Street, Suite B in central Detroit, for those looking for a great beer on tap and a bite to eat after the festivities. For those that enjoy a nice red wine, Woodbury Wine out of Troy, Michigan offers the Nain Rouge Red. Ooh la la. Those wishing to cuddle up on the couch with a nice spooky movie, the 2019 film Devil's Night, Dawn of the Nain Rouge, might be right up your alley. For our bookworms, the graphic novel Nain Rouge, The Red Legend, by author Joseph Bastien, is sure to entertain. Well, hun.
Well, this legend's a little bit of a celebrity, right?
It is a little bit.
It's been
Books.
been around for 300 years, 300 plus years, you know? So, yeah, I never really heard about the Nain Rouge before. I've heard of the Jersey Devil, but once I started digging into the folklore of Michigan, there it was. It just popped right out at me. I was like, I have to do a story on this little guy.
I never heard of him.
I never heard of him before either.
He's a disastrous little bastard.
I suppose if we lived closer to the Detroit area, maybe we probably would have heard about it.
Yeah, I wonder if any of our Detroit fans know more about the legend of the Nain Rouge.
I'm sure they do.
Maybe if you guys do, you should listen to us on YouTube and give us a comment so we can read that off. Love to hear from you.
That'd be awesome.
You know what this little bugger reminds me of?
Who's that?
So when I was a little girl, we've talked about this. And in fact, Todd and I watched this movie last night. And I don't know if any of our listeners who are about our age in the early 50s, if you guys have ever seen the movie Trilogy of Terror. It was in 1975. Now, I don't remember the trilogy, period. I just remember the one with the Zuni doll.
Yeah.
That little thing freaks me out. So it's this little Zuni doll with the spirit of a Zuni warrior, right, in this doll. And the main character is Karen Black. And if anybody is a fan of House of a Thousand Corpses, she plays the wacky mom.
Yeah.
That's always running around in lingerie.
Her character's name was Mother Firefly.
Yeah, so this Zuni doll, the thing with it is you have to keep this necklace on this Zuni doll, for if it falls off, this little bugger comes to life. And he's fast, and he's got really sharp teeth,
Really sharp teeth, yep.
and he's bad, bad, bad.
Well, there's the similarity to the Nain Rouge. The sharp teeth, he's a little dude. And scary as all get out.
So he's this little red, in my brain, little red Zuni doll. Running around, cackling, tee-hee-heeing. And it's all because of this guy Cadillac was disrespectful.
Right, all he had to do was be nice. I mean, the fortune teller even told him.
It's coming.
Yeah, and this is how you deal with it. And he did the exact opposite.
You got to believe your fortune tellers.
Right.
If they give you a little warning, hey, listen, something's coming up, do what they say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do what they say. I mean, think of what could have happened in Detroit had he been a good guy.
Right.
Had he been sweet and nice. Gave him a strawberry.
I know, the Lions probably would have went to the Super Bowl this year.
And won.
Right.
Well, coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Super Bowl's not here yet.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's Cadillac's fault, man. That's where I'm going to put it.
Yeah. And a lot of people put a lot of fault on Cadillac because he was written in history as this big hero. And in the 1950s, there was a scholar that actually went through history and read about him and said, no, he actually should be listed as one of the nation's biggest scoundrels. So.
Well, I can't say I disagree.
Yeah.
He's a big fat jerk.
Isn't that something? I mean, he discovered Detroit and got kicked out of it.
Yeah. He screwed the pooch. Yeah. That's what he did. See?
Don't be swatting that Nain Rouge with your cane.
Get down in Louisiana where it's all hot and muggy.
Yep.
Deal with that.
There you go.
You're ousted. I say, fair, what do I say? Good riddance.
Good. You know what? Beat it.
Beat it. We don't need you up here.
Yep. Thanks for the city.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our story for the day. Thanks, hon. It was a great story.
You're welcome.
Do you want to sign us out?
I sure do. You might want to lock your doors, lock your windows, and you better check under your bed. There might be a Nain Rouge under there.
That's what I'm saying. Those three witches have nothing on this little bugger. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Malice Monday.
We'll see you on Monday.